There is a strange, quiet funeral happening in the world of IT. The corpse on display is coding. Depending on which side of the fence you are in, you are either weeping or cheering, worried or excited. Let's be blunt. Coding is becoming cheap. It's been commoditized at a rate that makes Moore's Law look like a light job. Every single day we see news of AI replacing humans in what seemed to be the last frontier, coding. However, in the frenzied madness, we miss out a key aspect, that of human requirements. Those remain the most expensive, rarest, and most frustratingly complex resource on the planet. Today, I want to talk about why the death of code is actually the birth of something much more demanding, a tool that's dying and a world that's being reborn. Not very long ago, building software required a small army, a few architects, few developers, QAs, project managers, program managers, the list just goes on. And at the end of it, we needed a ring and a prayer that the whole thing doesn't come collapsing after a Friday night deployment. Today, today we have the LLMs, the Chat GPTs, the Claudes, the Geminis. They are the new apprentices in the town that never sleep, never complain, and most importantly, never ask for a hike. So yes, a lot of coding as we knew it, the rote, the repetitive, and the boilerplate, that is fading. But here is the thing. When an activity becomes easy, society does not abandon it. Society multiplies it. When fire became easy to make, we didn't stop cooking. We built restaurants, we built cuisines. In fact, we built empires on spice routes. So when code becomes easier to produce, something subtle happens. Software stops being a rare act. It becomes everyone's playground. The mistake is thinking that the world pays you for typing. The world never paid you for typing. The world paid you for converting human thoughts and their never ending need into working reality. There is an old economic phenomenon called Jevons paradox. When a resource becomes more efficient to use, we often consume more of it, not less. Lower cost unlocks new use cases. Now let's apply this to software. If building an app costs 12 months and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're only solving the expensive problems. But if building an app costs 2 weeks and few hundreds of thousands of dollars, then you are starting to solve the human irritations. And human irritations are infinite. We have entire companies built around the fact that people forget passwords. So as the cost of software drops, the demand for software skyrockets. We are about to be hit by something known as the microsoftware flood. Imagine the tiny automations for your local grocery store, personal agents that manage your digital legacy, workflows nobody bothered to digitize because it wasn't worth it before. Internal tools for a 3-person startup that would have been too expensive even just last year. The enthusiasts, in fact, have now started dreaming of solopreneur unicorn. So here is the irony. The more dead coding becomes, the more software shaped humanity becomes. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the adult question. If AI automates most work, jobs disappear. If jobs disappear, income falls. If income falls, who are going to buy the AI products? This is where we hit the Abilene paradox. It's a group dynamics concept where a group of people collectively decide on a course of action that none of them actually want, simply because no one wants to speak up and be the bad guy. We are all rushing towards the AI automation, even if we are privately terrified of the economic fallout. The truth, however, is not what it feels like. With every shakeup, there are multiple forces that come into play. First, the displacement trap. AI replaces tasks faster than the economy creates new ones. People lose incomes, consumption slows, we get a period where productivity exists but purchasing power does not. This is exactly the noise that is consuming the tech world right now. This is going to be relevant for a short period of time until society readjusts. How? This brings us to the second force, which is the creative destruction. Job titles don't change, they morph when a new economy arrives. When automobiles displaced horses, the horsemen faded, but the automobile world hired an army. Manufacturers, spare parts, drivers, mechanics, road builders, insurers, the list kept breeding. Coding will follow the same arc. Less handwritten code, more human intent. The new roles have already started peeking over the horizons. Domain prompt engineers, GEO, generative engine optimizing the successor to SEO, AI forensic engineers, agentic orchestrators, specification specialists, AI guardians, human in the loop verifiers. And this list won't stabilize. It will multiply at the same speed code gets automated. In addition, there is the third force which we are already seeing in action, which is the demand explosion. It's the Red Queen effect. You have to run twice as fast so that you can be at the same place. So, as AI does our work, our expectations of what good software looks like will skyrocket. We have seen this in the past. Having a web page was good enough in the dot-com era. Since then, we have created loads of tools, frameworks, and processes to ease our jobs. The baseline of a good software is no longer a web page with blinking animations that could become unresponsive at any point of time. It has become neater, cleaner, and faster. With AI doing the coding, the expectation is now to make the applications intelligent at every stage, be it your sports app or your regular to-do list. Customers now expect AI to help them at every stage. AI is a winner take most game. It's plain economics. The best models get the most data, which makes them better, which gets them more capital. It's a snowball rolling down a mountain. But society has a boring rhythm. If a system benefits too few for too long, it needs to be rewritten, sometimes through regulation, sometimes through crisis. Sooner or later, regulations will kick in. Think of regulation as brakes. You don't put brakes on a Porsche because you want to drive at 10 km per hour. You put them on so you can dare to go at 200 km per hour. We need AI regulation not because we hate innovation, but because society needs protection. We need transparency because in a world of synthetic reality, trust is the only currency that won't devalue. In 1997, Deep Blue beat Gary Kasparov. Everyone said chess was dead. Today, chess, if at all, is more popular than it has been in a century. Because humans don't play chess only to win. They play to struggle, learn, perform style, experience meaning, and compete within human limits. The same will happen with AI. We will accept AI for writing the first drafts, generating options, searching through complexity, automation of the repetitive work. But we will resist AI where the cost of being wrong is moral and not technical. Justice, leadership, parenting, therapy, art that carries human fingerprints. LLMs can generate code. They cannot take responsibility. When a system crashes and a million people lose their data, an LLM cannot stand in the blast radius. A human has to. If you have stuck with me this far, you're probably asking, okay, the world is changing. What do I actually do tomorrow morning? It's easy to feel like a passenger in the car with no driver, but you have more agency than you can think. There are broadly four pillars that you need to pay attention to. Number one, rethink the what. We need to shift from being problem solvers to problem finders. In the old world, the client gave you a Jira ticket and you solved it. In the new world, AI solves the ticket. Your value isn't asking, is this even the right ticket? Is this feature going to solve the user's frustrations? Or is it just digital noise? We have to move from the how to the why. That is a massive psychological shift. Pillar number two, reskill, the T-shaped engineer. You have probably heard of the T-shaped professional. Deep in one area, broad in many. Reskilling today does not mean learning a 15th JavaScript framework. It means learning how to orchestrate. You need to understand how to prompt engineer the infrastructure, how to audit AI generated code for security vulnerability, and how to integrate disparate systems. If AI is the engine, you need to be the driver. You might not understand how LLM does the job, but you better know what it has done. Pillar number three, double down on the domain knowledge. Here is the hard truth. Pure tech skills are the most vulnerable to AI, but domain knowledge, that's your mode. If you are a developer who deeply understands the nuances of international tax law or the specific logistics of a supply chain in Southeast Asia, or the clinical workflow of an ICU, you are indispensable. In fact, congratulations, you are more valuable than you were. AI knows the average of everything, it doesn't know the exceptions of your specific industry. Get out of the ID and go and talk to the people using the software. Learn their business better than they do. Pillar number 4, stay rooted to the basics. This is a very interesting one. There is a concept called Lindy effect. It says that future life expectancy of a non-perishable thing like an idea or skill is proportional to its current age. Let me simplify this. If a book has been in print for 50 years, the Lindy effect suggests that it may be in print for another 50 years. Similarly, if an idea or paradox is as relevant as it was 50 years back, it's probably going to be relevant for the next 50 years. You get the point. JavaScript frameworks come and go every 2 years. But data structures, logic, networking, algorithms, security, those have been around 50 and probably will be there for the next 50. The more the top layer, that's the coding, gets automated, the more important this bottom layer becomes. When the AI hallucinates a solution, the only way you will catch it is if you understand the basics of how memory, databases, and logic actually work. So here is my challenge to you. Don't go out and learn a new syntax this weekend. I want you to do 3 things. First, find a human irritation in your daily life or your company that has never been solved because it was too small or too expensive. Second, use an LLM as your apprentice to build a micro tool to fix it. And the third, document the process, not the code, the decisions you had to make. We are moving from an era of typing to an era of judgment and specifications. The funeral of coding isn't a tragedy, it's a graduation. The world doesn't need more people who can speak to machines in C++ or Python. It needs more people who can speak to machines on behalf of the business. So yes, coding as a rote manual labor of syntax is dying. But it's dying the way candles died when electricity arrived. It's not getting darker. We are building a city of lights. Code was never the point. Solving the human struggle was. Thanks for watching. Now let's go and build something that matters.